Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisco Gaming, and in today's video, sponsored by the makers of Civilization Eras and Allies, I want to share with you my best 3 armies as of Season 3. And we just took Babylon, baby. So we're big chillin'. This season has gone incredibly well. Naval combat has been really interesting. I have a ton of videos that are queued up, probably as of the time of this going live, they'll be queued up, getting ready to be published, talking about all the stuff that happened in this season. It's been fun. It's been a bit of a steamroll. Let's get into my best 3 armies, all right? Now, I'm kind of hyped because I was able to include in these new armies a few of the new Season 3 heroes. I got to play around with them, have some fun with those. But this first army is actually not based in the new stuff. It's based in the old stuff, all right? And it is the Tommy, Nathaniel Green, Maria Theresa configuration. This is a combo style army. My goal is to do just huge amounts of burst damage. I've talked about this style of army in other videos, but it is worth mentioning that what I have here is not perfect. So I'll run through some of these choices, talk about the upgrades that I would like to make, the things I would like to get, and you can think about that as well as you're considering building some of these armies, all right? So the thing that I'm obviously missing here, if you're subscribed to my channel, you know, is I'm missing Gilga. I have this Nathaniel Green. All right? It's not the best option, but it's the best option I have. Now, the crazy thing is that I pulled a ridiculous amount of Tommies. So I actually have her title upgraded. When deployed as captain, increase range by 1 and gain double attack for the first 3 turns, which is pretty nuts. Given that I have that, I really do need to replace Coronation on here with some other skill, okay? Maybe like Sustained War would be a good choice here. Replace this, put this on someone else, and then we're headed in a good direction here, all right? Before I got all those Tommies and used them for the title, getting double attack here was really important, all right? During the first 3 turns, increase own passive crit rate, gain double attack each turn. Okay. Anyways, that's my Tommy. I'm also using Drawing Strength. After using a basic attack, deal int damage to target 1 time, absorb combat attack and combat int from the target and enhance my own stats for 2 turns. And as you recall, Tommy's skill, after using a basic attack, deal int damage to the target 1 additional time. Also disorient them for 1 turn. Disorient means that they're going to attack or apply their effects indiscriminately. Like they start attacking their own people, potentially, which is pretty cool. Tommy, looking good, other than skill tweak. Now I'm using Nathaniel Green, as I mentioned, instead of Gilga. That's like the big level up. And the bigger level up would be to use QSH instead of Gilga. So there's even more that you can do here. But Nathaniel Green works in a pinch. What does he do? During an even number of turns, during the even number of turns, I should say, increase the trigger rate of combo skills for ally ranged and infantry heroes by 20%. Also increase ally cavalry heroes combat attack, defense, and int, and agi by 20. This is affected by int. So, you know, it's not as good as what the other options are, but I have Nathaniel, so this is what we're using. The other skill I have here, preparing for battle. Prepare for 1 turn, then restore troops. This is a healing effect to the ally hero with the most wounded troops and 1 random ally hero. Grant healing to the ally targets for 2 turns. If a control effect while healing is active, immediately recover the remaining amount of troops. Healing at the start of your own turn, recover troops with a healing rate. So I think this is fine, but obviously I'm using an epic skill over here. And, you know, what I would probably end up doing, I mean, if the upgrade is to, like, get Gilga over here and probably put Coronation here. Okay? And then in my Vanguard slot, I've got Maria Theresa, who you may recall, I strongly recommended that you pick early on in the game when you have an opportunity to get her. Now, I need preemptive action, or I could I guess, retire Meng Tian for total blockade as a skill upgrade on Maria Theresa. But otherwise, I feel like she's in a pretty good spot. Maria Theresa, during the first 3 turns, increase 1 to 2 ally heroes, combat crit rate, and at the start of each turn, gain pounce. Can get up to 3 pounces per turn. She's the pounce provider for the combo setup. There it is, my 3rd best army. It's a combo army. But let's go to my 2nd best army. All right? Now, my 2nd best army is a Pericles army. And I got really lucky in a way at the start of this season when I unlocked Mark Anthony, because I was able to kind of level this up and get to the configuration that you see here. This is my 2nd best army. It's an all-around army. It is a damage scaling army. Okay, this plays off of a couple things that are happening, but it plays off of the fact that Pericles over here, when all allies deal damage to enemies total 5 times, deal attack damage to 2 random enemy heroes 1 time, and cause them to revolt. Okay, so revolt, when affected enemies take damage, the attacker recovers troops. Damaging the enemy heals yourself. Pretty cool. Other skills that I have on here includes Meteor Shot and Unexpected Counter. Unexpected Counter is important. When 2 allies deal damage, there's a 100% chance to increase combat damage taken by the target. This effect stacks 5 times, lasts for the whole battle. I'm also using Meteor Shot. This does damage and impairs for 1 turn. I know that experienced players look at this and they're like, yes, just cool, I know what impair is. But for the new players here, I always try to show, like, what are these effects happening here? But I take damage over time, applied at the start of own action every turn. One change I could use here for my captain skills would be to use Unbeatable Warrior from Wallace. Now let's talk about my center here. I'm using Cleopatra. I have King's Ascension and Fabius Tactics. Fabius Tactics, feel good about that. I might like to replace King's Ascension if I could get my hands on Deterrent Defense or Battle Ready. I need a skill card to get Battle Ready for healing. And then, like I said, the Fabius Tactics I feel good about. So Fabius Tactics, during the first 3 turns, reduce 2 allies engaged damage taken. W. Okay? Handles the way most armies try to dismantle you. This skill grants a 60% chance to grant 2 allies with the following effects. There's a 35% chance to recover troops when taking damage, activates at most 1 time per turn, and recover troops again at the end of the turn with a heal rate. This is just a healing skill, okay? And as a reminder of what she does, during the first 3 turns, reduce male heroes' engaged damage dealt. With the title, you can also have that apply to female heroes. And from turn 5 onwards, when all allied heroes take damage, there's a chance to deal int damage 1 time to 1 random enemy within a range of 4. Can trigger up to 2 times per turn. All right. And now, Mark Anthony, closing out the scaling aspect of this. Ideally, my skills would be City Garrison, which I have, plus either Counter or Desperate Counter would go in this slot up here. But what he does, reduce own passive damage taken by 25%. After taking damage, reduce the skill's damage taken reduction effect. Unless it has already reached the minimum value of its initial effect, cannot be erased. For every 3 instances of damage taken, deal attack damage to 1 random enemy 1 time within a range of 3. During the first 3 turns, when an ally takes skill damage, excluding continuous status damage, there's a 50% chance to take that damage on their behalf. This army is scaling with receiving incoming pain. And it's been my 2nd best army this season, and it's a great all-rounder. But my best army was a little bit of a surprise to me because it involves a new hero from this season, and he is an all-star in my opinion, and it's Jang Bogo. This dude has been goated. Okay, this is also where I've deployed my Sun Tzu, and I'm even using Oda again. And I basically had converted him into a skill and then converted him back to hero form to make this configuration. So what are we doing here? So Jang Bogo is probably like as good as a Pericles, if not better, in the way that we have him configured here. And let's talk about his skill. So he is inflicting Incinerate on all enemies. So this makes it so that when the target takes an action, they're going to take int damage one time. Each time a target takes burn or scorch, there's an 80% chance to inflict one additional stack of Incinerate. And when the target's Incinerate reaches the maximum of 5 stacks, they immediately deal Incinerate damage to them and remove 4 stacks of Incinerate from them. Okay? And this is making them take int damage over time, and it applies when acting every turn. This is very powerful, as it turns out. The skills that I'm using with him, Scorching Sun, makes it so that I deal int damage to enemy heroes one time and Scorch. So we're playing off of those Scorches and Incinerates here. If a target is already Scorched, burn them for 2 turns. Pretty solid. Then the next skill, Unpredictable Moves. Prepare for 1 turn and deal damage to 2 enemies and inflict one of the following effects. Panic, Scorch, or Rattle for 3 turns. If the target's already inflicted with one of those effects, prioritize calculating the remaining damage from the effect for this turn. I'm pretty sure we already have the best skills here. I think this is it. This might actually just be it. Scorching Sun and Unpredictable Moves, at least for things that I can get access to. That's probably as good as it gets for me right now. And then Sun Tzu in the center. I mean, I've talked about him in a bunch of videos. I'll probably even make a dedicated video about him because you can get him in Season 1 guaranteed. But he's got Art of War. He's all about doing damage and also healing. Pretty cool. So damage and troop restoration. When all allies deal damage a total of 5 times, one random ally hero either deals damage to an enemy hero, or actually I should say, and when all allies take damage a total of 5 times, restore troops. So pretty cool. And I've got Deterrent Defense. Okay, heal 2 allies. I'm trying to like summarize. I know this video is kind of run long. And Precision Strike. All right, during the first 3 turns, reduce 2 enemies' engaged damage dealt. Okay, so he's here to kind of make me survive. And then Oda, who we brought back from the dead. So I'm using Elite Force, which is kind of like City Garrison. This is one of the historic skills that came from this season, and I wanted to get a few of these to showcase them. It is very powerful. This is probably a part of the reason that I've been doing so well. And well, let's read from the top here. So what he's doing is he makes it so that when all allies use an active skill, there's a chance to reduce 2 enemy heroes' combat damage. That's actually combat attack, defense, int by 6, and it stacks up to 10 times, lasting till the end of the battle. All right, and then preemptive action makes it so I can disarm enemies for actually 2 enemies, 3 during the first 3 turns, 90% chance. So let's just read the skill from the top, just cool, instead of trying to summarize such a short skill. And Elite Force, this is the one that's the historic skill. When all 3 ally heroes have different units, increase the captain's basic attack range by 1, reduce the center's engage damage taken by 20, and have the Vanguard protect all allies during the first 3 turns. Protector takes enemies' basic attacks on your behalf. GG. So it's pretty potent. All right. So you can see here that I've got the 3 troop types represented in my choices. Okay. And that makes it so that the effect of the 3 troop types is at play. This army surprised me. I told you I brought Oda back from the dead to make it. I've been pretty happy with it. But I don't know that it's the best army. In fact, I know that it's not the best army from this season, which I will be showing you in a future video. So consider subscribing. These are my best 3 armies. But the best 3 armies this season, I got a few ideas, all right? So subscribe to the channel. Thank you again to the makers of Civilization Heirs and Allies for sponsoring this video. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.